Hey, let's dive into the DeFi world. It's like a wild west of finance, filled with both game-changing innovations and some pretty nasty scams.
Exactly.
You know, decentralized finance promises so many benefits over our traditional systems: security, accessibility, decentralization, right? But that same openness brings in a whole range of vulnerabilities.
Right. It's like with freedom comes risk, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's like you're granted so much, but you also get a responsibility to safeguard yourself. A prime example are rug pulls. You've
Yep.
heard of those, right? Yeah, a rug pull is kind of like when developers with slick marketing raise a ton of funds and then just vanish, leaving investors with nothing. It's like they literally pull the rug out from under you.
That's brutal. And sadly, it's still one of the most common scams around.
Exactly, and sometimes it's almost too predictable if you know what signs to look for: lack of proper token lockup periods, sparse community engagement, and,
Right.
well,
Behavior like that
overly
really
ambitious
raises red
promises
flags.
without clear roadmaps. Then we have social media scams. Scammers set up fake accounts, impersonate celebrities, and try to lure you into
Yeah,
sending
especially
funds.
on platforms like Twitter.
It's almost comical sometimes the way they replicate accounts with wrong follower counts and sloppy grammar. Yet somehow people still fall for it, unfortunately.
True. It's crazy how, even with all the warnings, these scams persist every day.
And then there's the classic phishing scam. Basically, the same idea as with regular email scams, but here it's about crypto wallets and sensitive data. Scammers send emails pretending to be legit support and ask for your private info.
Yeah, it's like the digital version of door-to-door cons.
Exactly. And a big part of the problem is that even though these techniques are really old school, they never seem to go away.
Mm-hmm. And they keep evolving in pretty subtle ways.
So, when looking at security measures, it really becomes a multi layered approach. Two factor authentication is a basic yet critical step. You know, that extra layer of security prevents many attacks even if a password's compromised.
Mm-hmm. That extra step can be a lifesaver.
And then, of course, using hardware wallets. They really put an extra barrier between your funds and potential hackers because your private keys aren't just sitting online.
Right? It's like keeping your money in a safe, not just under your mattress.
Exactly. Uh, Another piece is to really investigate the community behind a project. If developers are in constant touch and there's active discussion, it tends to be a healthier sign than a project that's as silent as, well, a ghost
Yep,
town.
community is definitely key.
But I want to um, challenge a point here for a moment. Some folks say that if a project markets itself as unruggable, then it's safe. But I think that might give a false sense of security. What do you think?
I actually agree. Promises like unruggable can be more of a marketing tactic than a guarantee.
Exactly, it's like too good to be true promises. Developers might say it's safe, but if there's insufficient token control or if the lockup details are sketchy, those claims can be pretty misleading.
Right. It's kind of like the emperor's new clothes. Just because they call it secure doesn't mean it truly is.
Now, another interesting point is how DeFi contrasts with traditional finance platforms. See, with traditional banks, you have a central server that, if breached, can expose everything. Decentralization spreads that risk out across many nodes.
That distributed model really does offer a more resilient structure in theory.
But here's the flip side, though, because the entire system is open source and relies on, code written by humans. It's prone to errors. A rushed smart contract might have a vulnerability, and then boom, funds are gone in a flash.
Yeah, it's a bit of a double-edged sword. On one hand, decentralization means more control. On the other, more room for mistakes that can be exploited.
Right? And since the blockchain environment is relatively young, it lacks that decades of rigorous testing that traditional financial systems have.
True, which means that some of these vulnerabilities can sometimes be downright catastrophic.
So the takeaway seems to be that while DeFi offers immense potential to revolutionize finance, users need to be extra vigilant, engaging in thorough research, ensuring good security practices, and watching out for common scam tactics are all non-negotiable.
Yep, absolutely crucial.
I mean, it's like going to a new bustling city for the first time. You have to keep your wits about you, know which areas might be riskier, and take precautions so you don't become a victim.
That's an apt analogy. And um, it's interesting how the very decentralization meant to empower users also demands this elevated responsibility.
Yep, it's a trust but verify situation. Always verify who you're dealing with, whether it's a smart contract on GitHub or checking that Twitter account for legitimacy before getting involved in any giveaways or token promotions.
And sometimes even asking for a second opinion can help catch those red flags.
For sure. Even if something seems just a tad too exciting, a bit of research can go a long way. And remember, if a community or project isn't transparent, if the developers are secretive or inactive, it might be wise to steer clear.
That's a solid point. Transparency is a huge indicator of a project's authenticity.
Right? And beyond community insight, users should always double check website URLs for those pesky phishing attempts. A secure URL is a small detail, but a powerful
Definitely.
signal.
It's often the small things that can save you from big losses.
And there's also the point about diversification. You shouldn't keep all your crypto in one online wallet. Spread out your risk with hardware wallets and verified platforms. It's like not putting all your eggs in one basket, right?
Exactly. Smart risk management is key.
So while DeFi offers democratized finance with a lot of promise, we have to be ever aware of the lurking dangers, be it from coded vulnerabilities or clever social scams.
Yeah, the evolution of these scams is pretty alarming, especially as the industry expands and attracts more newbies.
And if you think about it, it's a learning curve for everyone. Developers need to incorporate robust security from the start, and users need to educate themselves about these tactics.
Right. It's a partnership of sorts. Community and creators helping to safeguard the ecosystem.
Exactly. It's like a community garden. You all have to do your part to keep it safe from pests. Although sometimes even the best gardens can be attacked by locusts or, well, in our case, scammers.
The garden analogy is spot on.
Now, on the flip side, don't get me wrong. The innovations in DeFi, like instantaneous transfers and low international fees through a
Definitely,
distributed
that's
network,
the upside
are
that really
revolutionary.
excites crypto enthusiasts.
Right? It's that promise of a financial system that's more accessible and democratized where no single entity has undue control. Truly appealing if you value freedom and autonomy.
But it's a matter of balance, isn't it? Balancing control, freedom, and robust security measures.
Exactly. The system works best when users are educated, developers take security seriously from day one, and the community holds projects accountable.
Absolutely, accountability is the linchpin here.
Right, because without that, we're just opening up a playground for fraudsters. And honestly, while DeFi can seem like a scam magnet, the proactive steps we can take, like using two-factor authentication, hardware wallets, and thorough research, really do empower users to stay safe.
True, and it reinforces that, while the potential for profit is huge, the risks need to be managed with a vigilant mindset.
Exactly, because ultimately the future of decentralized finance depends on trust and security as much as innovation. And if we can keep scammers at bay with proper education and technology, DeFi can truly flourish.
Here's hoping the industry moves forward with more safeguards.
So, to wrap things up, it's really about being smart, staying informed, and not taking things at face value. That way, we can enjoy the benefits of this revolutionary space without falling prey to its pitfalls.
Yeah, it's a challenging landscape, but armed with knowledge and vigilance, users can navigate it safely.
Cheers to that. Let's keep the conversation going and help each other stay one step ahead of the scammers while embracing the power of decentralization.
Absolutely. Here's to a safer, smarter crypto future.